Hey guys, real quick, before you watch this video, please jump down below and click the subscribe button. It's really going to help me connect with you and teach you all that I have to know and share with you my secrets. So please jump down, press subscribe. Here's the video. Hey guys, welcome back to another track walkthrough. Today I've got my SOFI TUKKER purple hat edit. It's been out for 2 weeks now, so if you haven't already listened to it, make sure you go and click the link below. I'll link it up there for you, or there should be a video on my channel of that already as well. Make sure you go check it out and listen to it. Then we're going to jump into the project, and I'll show you how I made a couple of things and how you can take a song and pretty much flip it into your own edit or your own version pretty easily, especially if you don't have the acapella. That's something, if you don't have an acapella, it's difficult, okay? You need to find the actual MP3 in as high quality as possible. You need to bring it into your project and surgically remove a lot of the parts that you don't want. Chop up the MP3, layer it. You can even do phase cancelling, which I'm not going to go through in this video, but it's how people achieve the DIY vocals, where they sort of cut out the rest of the instrumental. But you need the instrumental for that. Well, it makes it easier. Anyway, we'll dive into that into another video, but today I'm going to show you how I took the whole full MP3 track in high quality and then basically rewrote the track and changed it around that. So let's do it. If we have a look first and foremost at the project, I've got the original. I like to really organize myself so that it's, you know, everything's in its right place. Up here I've got the original here. There is no processing apart from taking out the very low end and then side chaining to the kick that I've put in there myself. This means that the low content of this audio will be taken out and replaced with my kick and my bass that I put in there. On the guitar loop and second guitar loops and things like this we'll go through in a second, but it's also just various different chops of the guitar loop. So for instance, if we just listen to this. So what I've done there is chopped out and then boosted around the mids where we're getting most of that sound. And then I've sidechained it to my sidechain layer, which is my Cashmere clap layer, and then used the, oh, this is really, really cool if you haven't seen this before. So it's a D-click from Isotope, and it's really, really good. It just takes away the clickiness, all the top transients that you don't want in the sound. It can really help to clean something up, so that's what I use for this. Let's get rid of that, and then some transient designing. If you haven't seen this, it just turns down the tops of the transients again, gets rid of the clicks, and it's going to sit it back behind in the mix, behind everything else. If we have a look down, the second guitar loop is very similar. I've just added some of the bass clef washout tool, and then that's pretty much it. The vocal loop layer is just the same, but side-chained. It's just different different levels of bounce and sidechain and different places in the mix as where I've placed some of that. And you'll be able to hear that loop that I'm doing in the drop. If you've listened to it, you'll already know. Let's go into the kick. Really simple. I've got some extra processing to driving it through a compressor to make it sound different. I just played around with pushing it into it to give it a nice sound. I'm pretty sure I've already done this from a different track and just dragged in the layer, but it just really, and then this is, EQ is just mixing it within. That's pretty drastic, but I wouldn't normally go that drastic, I don't think. But yeah, it just helps it fit, and it just gave me the sound that I wanted. Percussion, stereo percussion. I've got some stuff in here that's just not out wide. I'm using the FLUX stereo tool, and you can see it going all nice and wide here. I've been using this in different projects before, so make sure you go and check out those to see this tool. It's really cool. Then I've got, you know, various different things. One of my favorite parts, again, in this one is the timbale. It's just the timbale thing from Cashmere Flam, and I've chopped it. it just sounds so beautiful in this type of music, that just flammy timbale. Just so nice. I love it. It gives it real like Latin feel. Cowbell, everybody loves a cowbell. Hats and shakers, various different things. Let's listen to it all together anyway. Then it brings the cowbell in and various other things from there, because that's just the way it works. We're gonna go snares and all those. Let's go into the bass. The bass in this one I've layered a couple of times to make it sound fat. Layering basses is a really good technique to make sure that it's fat and filling the spectrum that you want. Too often we see basses that are either too heavy on the low end and not filling up the space where they need to, or vice versa. So layering basses is a really good way of combining the best of both sounds and making sure that they all fit together to give you the overall fat with a PH bass that you want. Have a look at mine. I've got one bass here. Where's the main bass? Here. So let's have a look. This one's going. So that's the main crux of the sound. Bass 3 here. Let's have a listen to this one. So it's a lot further back in the mix, especially volume-wise. The harmonics and the sort of, I guess, harmony that it plays and adds, and the warmth, that's what I was after in that particular layer. This one, so a bit more chunky, bit more sore, bit more aggressive. That just adds some extra aggression to the bass underneath. And then we've got that one bass that leads in. I've used it before. Ooh, one of them. So altogether, that bass layer sounds like this. And underneath everything else, you sort of still get that main plucky bass, which is what I wanted, but it really just fills that aggression. You don't notice too many of those other layers. It just sounds like fat bass, which is perfect. Let's go on to the lead section. The main one is this funk lead that I put in. It's kind of I've redesigned it a couple of times, but I really like it. I found it and I think it's cool. It's from Serum Patch, and then I really changed a couple of things. You can have a look at my sound design tutorial as to kind of what I would have done, but I played around with the cutoffs, I played around with the filtering, attack and release, all that kind of stuff. So listen, the main part. So Serum Patch into EQ, compressor, ignore this. Camel Crusher providing some tube warmth preset. You can't see that. There we go, tube warmth. OTT. Now with OTT, you can see the shaping that I've put on it. So it's a multi-band compressor, and it's just compressing the areas of the frequency that were, super strong and just blending it into a more even sound. Camel Crusher again to add this time more aggression, not necessarily warmth, and then running it into Sausage Fattener to really give it that chunky sound. I then had to pull out some frequencies using the Pro Q2, which you can see here. Pulled out some dirty frequencies. And then put some subtle stereo enhancement on it as well. Ping pong delay, reverb, shaping in the EQs, and then various different effects after that. I've also run the ghost layer over here twice, running it to the leads, the bass and the original with Track Spacer. Another great plugin from Waves Factory, so go check that one out. I've also got a video for that. Effects, sweeps, and things like that, and then I mastered it in the project. You can see that I've compared it to Bad Computers, one of his tracks, probably I think it's one of his old ones he might not have released or something, or an old version, but it's really super tight. Craig makes everybody want to stop producing because he's an amazing producer. Shout out Bad Computer. So yeah, his tracks are awesome to reference to mix-wise, so I've tried to do that as best as possible considering it sounds relatively different. So yeah, that's the track, guys. I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure going through this again. If you haven't seen any of the other ones, make sure you go and check out the playlist. I'll link that down below. There's another couple of videos in there from other tracks. Thanks for the support on everything that I do, and we'll see you again for another video. See you again soon.